What is up, my friends? Jesse here with Just Man Sports Cards. Today we're going to go over 3 fairly rare Shaquille Neal PSA graded cards that I paid less than $20 for. I'll kind of go over their rarity. I'll show you what I actually paid for them. So the video will jump around from me showing you the card, and we'll go through a little bit of research. It should still be a pretty short video. Tower of Powers, PSA 8. These are pretty condition sensitive. You would get 1 per box. Here's the back. With Shaquille with his Superman tattoo. That's pretty cool, right? The first way that I recommend looking up them is just getting a Beckett. If you're not familiar with these price guides, you can buy them on eBay. If you're going to collect the 90s, I suggest doing one from 1999. And then it does a pretty good job of breaking out it gives you a price guide for back then, some articles, but then you can jump over to Fleer 96, as you can see that, and then it breaks down each and every set. And then what we're looking for is Tower of Powers. And it's a fantastic job of how much information is in here. It shows you there's 10 cards in the set, so 1 per 30. That's basically 1 per box. So it'd take you 10 boxes to pull the Shaquille. So that gives you some sort of idea. $8 back then. He was less than Garnett. It's not that way now, but it would be a second-year Garnett. So now we'll jump over how to looking at the pricing and then the population report. Okay, so I've pulled up my eBay purchase history. You can typically just do like a drop down and then go to purchase history, and then you can search your orders. It goes back quite a ways. I think like typically 3 years. So if you ever forget what you paid for something, some of the information does drop off. But you can see the Fleer Tower of Power is a PSA 8 card I just showed you. I paid $8.50 for. So plus shipping and everything. So another way, if you don't want to buy a Beckett, this is a free way. I think those Becketts are like $4 or $5 plus shipping to get one in your hand. Just type in 1996 Fleer basketball box into here, and then these results will pop up. And then typically one of these sellers, they might not have them, but then they'll show you the odds here, and you can see it doesn't show Tower of Power, but this is Series 1. So then you go, okay, like that wasn't in Series 1. And then if we scroll down, Series 2, and then here we see that the Tower of Powers were 1 in 30 packs. And then you can also see what else is in there. Thrill Seekers, which is a very popular card, is 1 in 240. Then if you want to ever look at the population reports, the pop is what I say a lot of times. I've gotten questions on that. You just type in PSA pop report, and it's the first thing that pops up, and then it brings you right here, and then you just type in the card you're looking for. I already did that, 1996, and then you hit. You don't even have to be that precise, and then you can filter if a lot of results come up at basketball cards, and then you just click here, and then it'll show you everything that's been graded. And there's only been 86 submissions. So if this card got really expensive, it's possible that this could grow to 60 or 150, but just at the current price that it's fetching, it's not really worth people's while. But the Power of Towers, you can see with 85 cards, there's only been 5 gems. So that's less than 10%. And then just some of the newer collectors don't get how hard some of the 90s stuff was. So then they see a 9, and people just a lot of times won't pay up for it. But the copy I showed you was an 8. So there's only 15, 18 of those cards out there. I have a Garnett and a 7 that I graded. You can tell they've gotten 0 10s there. It looks like it's a little harder grade for whatever reason, roughly. So that's another thing to consider. Next card, I also paid under 20 bucks. The first card I paid 8.50, $5 shipping, so I was just with tax and everything into it for 15. This I paid $8 for. I'll pop up on my eBay and show you. Look at those flames, pretty cool, right? 90s cards. Plus $5. So I'm into this for 15 bucks. That's a pop 41 with 25 higher. So less than 60 cards of this floating around. These were one per box, and I'll show you the pack odds again, and then we'll go into the deeper information as well. So 95 Fleer, and then we'll just look for the one that we're looking for, which is franchise futures right here. Series 1, so that's 1 per 37, and then it was just a 9 card set, so it'd take you 9 boxes. It's important to pay attention to the hobby and the retail. That'll also give you an idea on the total print run. If it's hobby only, those are typically more rare cards if they didn't put it into retail. Also, if you're looking to pick up stuff that's going to pick up in value, Jordan really needs to be in the set because if people collect Jordan and they set collect from the 90s, they typically set collect sets that had Jordan in it. And then as Jordan appreciates in the set, Shaquille and the other players will appreciate. Or even for some sets that I collect, is the Jordan gets so expensive that you kind of have to pick your next favorite player out of the set. So if you're looking for strict value, and maybe stuff that won't really appreciate that much, pick stuff without Jordan in it. It's pretty cheap. If you're looking for stuff with price appreciation or possibility, not financial advice here, pick something with Jordan in it, is the smart play. 95 is Garnett's rookie year, as you would know. So Series 1 wouldn't have many of his rookies in it. Typically, it's always Series 2 that does. So these are boxes that you can still kind of afford if you want to rip them. 96, that's Kobe's year, so those boxes are pretty expensive. And we'll deep dive this and then hop into the next card. So the next card that we did was the franchise futures, and that's right here. You can see when I bought it, 1258. I don't know if that was March of this year or March of. Oh, I got a lot of these from all the same person, which is funny. I think they were running a bunch, and they just kind of went under the radar. Franchise futures, 1250 plus some shipping. I probably got combined shipping, so some of these I probably got under for 15 bucks, which is crazy. And that is the franchise futures. It's the second one that I showed. I pulled that up already. A couple more cards have been submitted, 140, so about 60 more in this set. You can see who's in it. Jordan's not in it. So then there's been 94 of these graded. Is that, do I have the right one? Pull it up. 95 Fleer. Yep. Is the one I showed you. And it's a pop 94. And I had a 9, so 38. So that's kind of how I look at it. So I misspoke, which we probably got into. The franchise future was actually it was a pop 28 with 10 higher. So it was only 38 copies. This is the highest population of the 3 cards. Tower of Power. I've graded these and held most of these cards in hand. It's just a little stiffer card stock, so it's more likely that people will send it into grade. The first 2 cards, much more foil front and back, so you're going to see a lot more chipping, and just a lot less are going to get sent in. I've sent in a Garnett and I got a 7, and I thought it was pretty clean, so that's how I knew that these 2 are much more condition sensitive than this Tower of Power. But that's just something, it's a little harder to learn. PSA 9. I also paid I paid $8 for this plus $5 shipping. So with tax and everything, I'm into it for 15 bucks. Not quite as cool as back, but a little bigger set. And we'll get into the information on this one. So we have our Tower of Power set here. 10 cards in the set. It says 1 per 54, so you wouldn't quite get 1 per box. So in theory, they should be a little more rare. That would take you about what, like 15 boxes to get the Shaq, both in hobby and retail. These were $20. So it's kind of interesting because we just looked at the franchise future. It's a lower pull rate, and those were deemed cheaper cards, but now it's kind of flipped because of people have realized that this is a more condition sensitive card, and getting a 9 on it is much harder than getting a 9 on this one. So always there's more nuance in hobby than it is a hobby, and these are collectibles. So finding the more rare stuff is sometimes comes down to the how fragile some of these cards are. So we'll deep dive this one, and then I appreciate everyone. If you've made it this far, please like and subscribe, and I'll continue to come out with content. The last card that we went over was the Tower of Power, and that one was here. So 96, or was it 96? It was 95, right? Right here it is. $3. So I got that one from a different seller. Yeah, cheap. And then that is right here. I had these a little out of order. 95, Shaquille, 89. So running through, I'll put them in order. 96 Fleer Tower Powers. There's only 32 of those. It's probably just the most condition sensitive. There might have been less of those made. With the 96 was a famous rookie class, so I think there was a lot of product pumped out in 96. That's another thing. It's hard to track print runs sometimes, but this really helps. 95, we see a little higher print run on the franchise futures, still under 100. And then on the 95 Tower of Powers, we see about 89. And that's the video. Hope you liked. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch everyone later. Peace.